Lions TV, this is your post-match analysis video for Friday night's unbelievable win on the road against Blackpool. An unbelievable night. I've just said it about 5 times, but I genuinely can't believe, even though I wasn't there, what a fantastic night it was. And it put us back in the top 6 momentarily. And of course, results going our way on Saturday meant that it is once again back in our hands against Blackburn at the Den next Monday. Win. And we're in. We are in the playoffs. The biggest game in 20 years will be happening next Monday. But before that, we've got to cover Friday's game. And it could take a while because plenty went on as always. Let's start out by taking a look at the 11 that the gaffer picked to get the job done. Okay, so the gaffer absolutely went for it. And I thought he might. I did say in my previous show, I suspected that he might change formation. I also predicted, by the way, a 3-1 Millwall win with Tom Bradshaw getting 2. And the Bermondsey Bergkamp getting 1, so not a million miles away. I would have took a scrappy 1-0, but it just put the icing on the cake that it was a brilliant game. Very end-to-end, very nervy. I'm sure you all felt it, but fantastic. The team, he went free at the back. Ryan Leonard come back in alongside Sean Hutchinson and Jake Cooper, of course, George Long in goal. And he went with wing-backs of Jamie Shackleton. Danny McNamara dropped out. Callum Stoles left wing-back. Billy Mitchell and George Saville, the 2 central midfielders. And then up front, it was a front 3. With Zian Fleming, right side, Duncan Watmore, left side. What a game he had, by the way. And again, what a game he had, as he always seems to do on the Sky cameras. Tom Bradshaw up front. I completely agree with it. Of course, hindsight's a wonderful thing. And in this case, it worked for us. He went with a different side, a different formation, and it worked. I think what he was going for more than anything was trying to retain the ball more and trying to keep the ball more. Leonard can come out the back and play out the back. And he done really well in the game. Let's not forget he's been very in and out of injury this season. So to get through that game, he did brilliantly well. And Shackleton, maybe a bit of a surprise inclusion. He had a little bit of a topsy-turvy game, but as a whole, I thought he played well. And Callum Stoles, they're both quite confident on the ball. Like to keep it... Shackleton more so likes to keep it quite simple on the ball, but he does keep it quite well. And Stoles can unlock a door and seem to be... These players now coming to the forefront. I'm talking about Leonard... I'm talking about Styles, sort of nowhere to be seen throughout the season due to injuries and whatnot. And now all of a sudden, these players are pushing in and getting their starts. And again, it's good competition for places. Someone actually said during a live stream I did yesterday that we've got great strength in depth. I always say we haven't got great strength in depth, and that could be an undoing for us. However, I've got to agree. He said, we changed the wing-backs, McNamara, for... Shackleton and Malone for Styles, and then of course right at the depth he changed the complete front 3, didn't he? Took off Fleming, Bradshaw and Watmore and brought on Bury, Bennett and Burke. So maybe I'm wrong, maybe you have got strength in depth. Just maybe one more centre forward would be nice, but Tom Bradshaw is doing the job of 2 men at the minute. Unbelievable performance from him. And I'm going to say it now before I get into it. I always backed him, and there was a time during COVID when a lot of you were saying he ain't up to this division and he couldn't get in the side in front of John Danny Bavardson. That's not a dig at Gary Rowett, it's in the past, let's leave it there. But he has got better now than even I thought he could. And his second goal, his first goal was brilliant. His second goal, and I think he'll agree with me, or he may be watching, even early this season he doesn't score that. Last season, a couple of seasons before, definitely not. He may have tried to crash through that. He may have snatched it a bit, but that is a man in form, a man full of confidence, and he just seems to get better and better. And at the minute, I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit relieved that he's 29 years old, because if he wasn't, he's got to be up there amongst the top scorers in the division now. Getting into the game, look, typical Millwall start, bipolar start, almost fucked it straight away. We give the ball away from kickoff, and Sean Hutchinson has to make a last-ditch tackle to concede a corner, and then we get back into the mould as we did against Wigan. We go up the other end. We put a great move together. Shackleton wins the ball, turns it over. He has a little interaction with Zian Fleming a couple of times, and then Ryan Leonard just bulks out of nowhere, and it shows the importance of the decision made by Garrett to include him and play 3 at the back, because he is a ball-playing centre-half. Well, it's not actually centre-half, is he? But he comes flying through. It's a brilliant ball from Shackleton. It's a fantastic first-time cross from Leonard under pressure, and Tom Bradshaw controls it and finishes it in one foul swoop, just connects, redirects. It's a brilliant goal. He's running towards the ball, away from goal, and he controls it into the far corner, the only place that he could. And it just fucking goes in the side netting. And even stupidly, myself at that point thought we might run away with this. Of course, that isn't Millwall and that isn't the Millwall way. However, as with the Sheffield United game, I feel that this type of performance and this result, although it was topsy-turvy, although it was nerve-wracking, I feel this could maybe once again push us on and just give us that little lift. It reminded me a lot of the Sheffield United game. And as I say a lot, why don't we score goals like that? Why aren't we involved in these exciting games on telly? And we got everything and more on Friday night. After that, we continue to come forward. Duncan Watmore, he's not played the best since he's come to the club, in my opinion. Again, it's very difficult to come into a team that was doing well. Of course, him and Ollie Burt were signed to give us that push. And neither of them have really enforced themselves in the squad. And, we've been doing well until sort of the last 4 or 5 games. And maybe Duncan Watmore's been knocking on the gaffer's door and said, right, now give him my chance. It might take him time to settle in the area and get to grips with the squad. And as I said in other videos, I think a summer for him will be brilliant. But make no mistake, he has got quality. He's got a lot more. When he came in the transfer window, I said he's got a lot more quality about him than other players in that position have. And my God, did he show it. Did he show it on Friday night? He's unlucky. We continue to come forward. George Long, good long kick on one opportunity. I'll get to the one in a minute. Bradshaw snatches out a little bit on his left foot, although he's running away from goal. Another one from Bradshaw, he just sort of, it's not even a chance, back to goal. Defender's up his arse. He just turns and hits it left-footed across the keeper. Dribbles just wide. And then the Duncan Watmore one, which I'll get to eventually. He hits the outside of the post. And it's looking good. We're coming forward. We're making attacks. We are not resting on our laurels. We try and kill the game off for once, which would have been nice. We didn't manage to do so because of then, just as I was saying on the live stream, Jamie Shackleton's having an unbelievable game. Jamie Shackleton concedes a penalty. Was it a penalty? Yes. In the laws of the game, it was a penalty. Do I blame the Blackpool striker for going down? No. If that had happened at the other end, I would have been claiming a penalty. And if my striker hadn't have gone down, I'd be asking questions of him why he haven't. Of course, Blackpool trying to stay in the division were actually relegated on the night. I didn't even realise that until the next day. I knew they was close, but I didn't think it was mathematically impossible. But we did stick the final nail in the Tangerine's coffin. It's a penalty, unfortunately. Is it Shackleton's fault? Not really. The guy's come from his blind side. He knows he's just got to get there and get a foot first to the ball, and Shackleton will connect, which he does. And for those of you saying they don't want us in the Premier League, it's a conspiracy. It was a penalty. Okay, it was a penalty. I didn't think that was a bad side, to be fair, Blackpool. They've got a good front four. I'm surprised to see them in the position they're in, but as we know, the golfing divisions now is getting bigger and bigger, and 2 years in this division weren't a bad run for them. They'll go back to League One. They'll find it difficult to get out because that's also a strong league. But looking at the bottom 3 now, Reading could go along with Wigan and Blackpool, who have gone, and Rotherham are there or thereabouts. So teams that come up always struggle to stay in. But I didn't think that's a bad side at all, to be honest with you. Moving into the second half, that plays into this because I didn't feel we started great in the second half. They got a lot of time and space on the ball, which obviously plays into their equaliser later on. We was allowing them too much time and space, shots from distance. Luckily, they couldn't hit the target, but a little dinked one over Long's head that went over the bar. A couple of shots from distance, a bit more drilled. Also, just over the bar. And I felt that, as well as we played in the game, and although we had 3 centre-backs, there was a bit of a detachment at that point between the midfielders and the defenders because we couldn't, for some reason, get to grips with that. And then it happens, honestly. A fucking unbelievable goal. And if that's scored by another striker in a higher division, if it's Messi or it's whoever, they're talking about this for ages because it is a really, really good goal. Shackleton once again involved, little ball through to Watmore, and this is what I say about Watmore's got that quality. Watmore's not looking sideways or backwards. He's looking for that killer pass in between full-backs and centre-backs, and that's exactly what he finds. It's absolutely inch-perfect. Tom Bradshaw through on goal, 2 defenders up his arse, keeper comes out, and as I said earlier in the show, that's one before Bradshaw might have snatched that, thrashed it, straight at the keeper, but he doesn't do that, does he? He fakes and then lifts it absolutely beautifully over the goalkeeper, and it's 2-1. It was painful waiting for it, watching it to trickle in. Bradshaw celebrates in front of the fans, and now you think, right now, we've had the lead once, let's not fuck it up again. But then Blackpool come back, didn't they? Again, as I was talking about earlier, getting tighter to them, too much time and space. Shot from distance, not George Long's fault at all. In that instance, I think you could argue, I always say, if you reduce your opposition to shots from distance, you're onto a winner. But too much time and space, picks his spot, drilled it hard and low, grass cutter straight into the corner, and there was nothing George Long can do. At that point, you think, okay, Typical Millwall. It's going to be one of them days. We're not going to see it over the line. We'll lose this battle. But as with the Sheffield United game, we come back again. And ironically, it's the guy that scored the goal, brings down Duncan Watmore. We get a little bit lucky. George Saville again is pressing well and pressing high. One of their players slips. Saville dispossesses him, goes beyond him, puts in Watmore. Watmore beyond his man, and the baldy who scored the equaliser takes him down. Stonewall penalty, no complaints. And then you just think this ain't going to happen. You're thinking it's Kevin Muscat against Tranmere all over again. I'm shouting at the screen at this point, keep your head down, boy, and just pass it. He can't hear me, obviously. I'm sure he was all shouting at the screen. But he does exactly that. He doesn't... Well, he almost telegraphs it. I think, he says to keep, that's where I'm going. And with any good professional, you shouldn't really be missing penalties. I get pressure. But if you keep your head low, keep the ball down, and pick a corner, and execute that right, the keeper, even if they know which side you're going, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get there. And he does go the right way. The Bermondsey Bergkamp side foots it in front of the Millwall fans. They're travelling 1,249. My God, I wish I was one of them, but fair play to you that all travelled, and I'm hoping you're returning home now from Blackpool, a little bit battered and bruised, but on top and enjoying yourself after a fucking... I'm still buzzing from it, I weren't even there. After that, I think we closed the game out quite confidently. I didn't see an issue after that. I think, again, as with next week against Blackburn, if we don't win against Blackburn next week, then we deserve everything we get. And I think if we'd have conceded that third goal against Blackpool, then, we deserve everything we get. But for those saying, no, we're fucked and row it out, and row it, there's only one Gary Rowett. The league table doesn't lie. Yes, we've been on a little bit of a bad run, but the league table serves its purpose. That is, there's a league table in place for a reason. So people keep saying, oh, I can't believe we're still here. Well, we are, because, all right, we've had a little bit of a bad run, but earlier in the season, we've had some very fucking good ones. As I said, good strength in depth now. Maybe I was wrong about that one. Substitutions coming on, and I was calling that during the live. I was saying, look, I think now we need to get Burke on. Bury preferred to Essa on the bench, I believe. I think that's more anything due to a little bit more experience from Bury. But we could have caught him on the break. Just a fucking really, really exciting game. Brilliant game. I was playing the ukulele till 4 o'clock in the morning. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. There's not really a lot else to say other than that. And of course, as we know, Watford were 2-0 up away at Sunderland. I did string for that as well. You've missed it now, so no point telling you. If they had stayed losing, then it don't matter. As it stands now, of course, West Brom's still in the hunt. Our old mate, Jeb Wallace, scores the winner for them. So it's us, Sunderland, Coventry, West Brom, as far as I'm aware, the 4 teams that could potentially still make it. There could be one more in, I'm not sure. But look, win and we're in. The biggest game in 20-odd years since fucking we made the playoffs after getting promoted 2000 and 2001. We then got the playoffs again 2001, 2002. Semi-final, against Birmingham. 1-1 away, Dion Dublin, boom. Let's not talk about the home leg. St John, it still hurts. Can we do it again? Can we do it again? Fair play to the fucking manager, I tell you. Fair play to him for having the bollocks to change it and for getting us to where he's got us to. Some people will argue we could be better off without Rowett, higher up. This league shit this year. But you can only beat what's put in front of you. And I think we've got to give credit where credit's due to himself, the squad, the chairman, of course. We missed out on our biggest signing in the January transfer window, by the way, another striker that we wanted. We don't need him. Tom Bradshaw's got the strength of 2 men and scores goals like a fucking animal. So, look, it's all good. It boils down to Blackburn. The players got 4 days off, I believe, now. 3 left after today. See Bart Bolkowski on a boat somewhere enjoying himself. So, good luck to you, boys. Enjoy your time off. And let's get ready for the big one. There'll be a podcast out this week, I'm hoping. I'll get the boys together at some point. There'll definitely be a preview. If we're playing Monday, I'll probably stick that out Friday. I'll try and get as much content out as possible. Not that I need to G you up for the big one. We're back in the top 6 and it is in our hands. Thanks for watching this post-match analysis. I hope you've enjoyed it. And please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.